Hello, sweet souls. I thank you so much for coming to this channel, coming to this video. I wanted to talk to you about a project that I'm just starting, and I'm kind of thrilled and nervous all at the same time. So I thought I'd just use this opportunity to kind of talk my way through it, talk my way further into it, and just relay some of the stuff that I'm feeling and some of the things that I'm thinking. So I have been mulling over a project for a little while now where I want to do readings on the ancestors of my family. And by what I mean is readings is if you don't already know, I'm a full-time professional tarot reader. I've been reading full time for a couple years now. So, in my development, in my practice of learning my skill set, learning what I like, learning how to do things, I did some tarot readings, some past life tarot readings, and I also did deceased persons tarot readings. And in that process, I got these ideas of that could be really cool to reach out and do a reading for maybe my deceased grandmother on my father's side, a woman who I do not know, who I've never met. And one day I did what I consider a life profile, like a life story reading. And I got to understand from two points of view, and explain in a moment. But the reading that I did gave me the feeling of this woman who was deeply unhappy, who was kind of had the tendency to blame. And I got to understand this personality that birthed my father in a way that I never would have otherwise. And the most interesting thing to me is that when I went to my tarot mentoring class, my mentor and I worked on a reading similarly, and she interpreted the same kind of person, the same person that I had. And so it validated to me that the way I read the cards, the way I interpreted this spread, this reading, the meaning that I gathered here was accurate and true. And so now that it's been about a year since I had done that kind of work, I want to hop back in to doing that kind of work, but on a grander scale with a little bit more personal meaning for myself. So I'm using YouTube as my method of documenting what it looks like to create this kind of project. And I have ambitions, I have ideas, and I don't know what the end result is going to be. And I kind of love that. I used to be a designer, so I'm used to having the end goal in mind and aiming for it, right? But this is not that. The things that I can predict, I've planned for. So I've gotten a massive leather bound journal that's made with acid free cotton paper that's going to be beautiful to write in and to kind of scrapbook essentially. I've figured out a way to protect my ancestral photos by retaking the photos and having those printed in this little adorable little printer that I now am in love with. But the work in itself of finding the persons in which I'm going to then perform life story readings on, that is still new. I haven't decided how stringent to the family line am I going to hold. Am I going to only read on the direct mothers and grandmothers, fathers and grandfathers, or am I going to branch out and do brothers and sisters and siblings? I have not decided that, and I think I may stick to the primaries going back. So that'd be my mother's still living, so it would not be my mother, but my grandmother, my grandfather, my great grandmother, my great grandfather on both of their sides, and then follow the tree out. And then follow the tree out. And I don't know if I'm going to be leaning heavy on the masculine side or being open to the feminine side. I think I may do both all the way up, as far as it makes sense, I guess, is how I would like to keep it. And when I'm thinking about the logistics of performing readings in this way, I also have another half of my genealogy that I don't have a whole lot of information on, on my father's side. My father is Nigerian, so I'm half Nigerian and half Caucasian. And my father has explained it to me that, they don't keep records as detailed as they've done in America. I get it. So I'm only going to have so much information, and the information I do have is based on his memory, and I'm so grateful to have even that, because so many of our life stories are lost by time, right? So I have the information I'm going to start with, like his mother, his grandmother, and I think his great-grandmother's name. I'm kind of excited about that. But I have the starts. I have the beginnings, and I've already done a reading on his mother. I've already done a reading on his great grandmother, and I know some details. So I'm going to use this information to create life profile readings. And I understand that you can't get a whole lot of, it's almost unfair to squeeze a whole life into a reading, right? But I get to see the high levels, I get to see the high points, and I get to, in a way, be told the story of a person's life through the voice of the person, of the ancestor. And I'm so like proud to be able to do that kind of work, just to even have that skill set that I can hop into that. And I don't know if it's like my guide that has taken me through it. I don't know if it's the ancestor speaking directly to me that's taking me through it. But either way, I almost don't care. I'm so excited to be able to perform this. And so the journal is on its way, and I'm super thrilled. The printer is here. I have pens for days. I'll be going through my mother's side of the ancestry here in a moment, and I'll get a printout of my father's side. And for anyone that I don't have pictures of, I'm going to be commissioning spirit art, to have sketches, at least sketches of these souls, these faces. And I can't wait. I cannot wait. Because every time I think about it, every time I think about where I've come from, the women that have raised me, have bore me essentially, I get proud, and I get also like nervous, and I want to make them proud, and I want to be, what would I say? Oh my gosh, because it's like these people don't know me. They don't know to know me, but my bloodline makes me know them, or them know me. So I feel like they're aware of me, but we haven't integrated before. We've not talked before. There's going to be people I've never even spoken their name, and here I am digging into their life story. I feel honored. That's the word. I feel honored to be able to do this work. And it is not for an end. It is for an ancestral, an heirloom. It is for an heirloom for myself to be able to do that work, to do all those readings, to understand all those lives, to understand all those souls. It is an honor to be kind of the caretaker of that. And I don't even care if they're stories or if they're true. To share space with that kind of energy, to share space with those beings that I've never once come in contact with, there is oh gosh, it feels like to me like how caretakers. It's an honor to be the caretaker of these souls. And that is like that is an amazing blessing that I want to be able to do justice to, that I want to treat with respect and veneration, that I want to understand completely and intimately. And so during this process, I am going to deeply involve myself in ancestral veneration, as well as make sure I educate myself on what that means, and the cultures in which this comes from, and also the manners in which I can properly venerate my ancestors from all of our different lineages. So it's like the way I would remember my father's mother is going to be different than the way I remember my grandmother or my mother's great grandmother. But I'm excited of all of it. Oh my gosh, I'm excited about all of it. And I'm going to be using YouTube to document it and show the processes in which and how I go through it. So how and what that's going to look like, no clue. Not a bleeding clue, but I know I'll be showing how the spreads work. I know I'll be showing what this spread was like. I know I'm going to be sharing, like, guess what? This is kind of cool that happened, and this experience showed up with that. What did I do when this difficulty showed up? What did I just learn right now? And I'm going to be documenting all of that, and I believe I'll be able to create a playlist that holds all of that information. So I look forward to sharing with you the journey of me living and reliving the life of my ancestors. Not on a surface level. Like, this is me diving into their lives. And I am proud. I am proud of that. Anywho, if you have any questions, let me know. Let me know in the comments. I do ask that you go ahead and like and subscribe so that you are up to date on all of the information as it pours out. And if you have any comments or feedback, or maybe even ideas for me to deploy or to consider through this process, I welcome them. I welcome them. So feel free to chat with me. I'd love to hear from you. Take care.